Remember when everyone would ask you when you were little, what do you want to be when you grow up? And now we're grown up and don't know what we're doing with our lives? Hi, my name is Madeline, and I am a college and career life coach. I help high school students, college students, and other young adults navigate the confusion that is life after graduation. Whether it's choosing your first career path or changing to a new career path, I am here to help you figure out what it is that you are doing with your life. So, welcome, get comfortable, and let's hang out together. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I went on a little vacay last week, so that is why I did not post a podcast. But I am glad to be back this week. I am feeling refreshed and ready to go. So, we are doing another FAQ today. Our question of the day is: are career tests accurate? I would say, yes, they can be accurate, but take it with a grain of salt because you can always change your interests. I don't think any test is 100% accurate, and really, you are probably the best judge of what feels right for you. And off the top of my head, this kind of reminds me of whenever people make assumptions about you based on your zodiac sign, because it's not necessarily accurate for everybody. And there is, for all the people who know about astrology, there there are a lot of other factors that go into making you who you are, just from an astrology standpoint, but also, like, think about psychology, the whole nature versus nurture thing. There's just a lot of different aspects that make you who you are and determine what you are interested in. One day you might want to work with your hands and be able to work outside. Then the next day or week or month or year, even, you may not want to be outside in the elements doing manual labor. You may want a chill, low key, relaxed office job instead. So I wouldn't solely rely on career tests to give you all of the answers. This is the part of your life where you have to start learning how to trust yourself. Easier said than done, right? I'm aware of that. I'm still working on it. But you don't have to rely on a quiz or a test to pick out your career for you or determine any other part of your life at all. And yes, I'm aware not everybody is taking these quizzes thinking it's going to basically decide the rest of their lives for them. I get that. Not everybody's like that. But there are a good handful of people that are utterly confused about what they're interested in, what career to pursue, and they don't know what to do. So they're looking to rely on these tests to possibly be the end all be all for them. And I just want you to know, if you are that person, do not fully rely on anybody except yourself to determine your next step in your career exploration process. I was kind of in the same boat though, because when I was in high school, I was approaching my junior year, and I knew my junior year would be tough for more than one reason, but mostly because I was going to have to relatively decide a career path and apply to colleges and choose a major, right? And I pretty much knew that I was always interested in the medical field, but I wasn't exactly sure where I would fit in. I wasn't even aware of all of the different careers that the medical field had. I just was pretty much confused about all of it, to be quite honest with you. So I went on this website called cfnc.org. I'm in North Carolina, and I'm pretty sure all the North Carolina students know about this website. It stands for the College Foundation of North Carolina, I believe. And there might be some for other states. I would assume there would be resources like this for other states, but cfnc.org was extremely helpful to me in my career exploration process. On that website, I was able to take this extensive interest quiz, and I believe it was over 100 questions. I know that for sure. And it probably took me anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to do it all. But it was just trying to get an idea of what your interests were. And so, what it would do was it would present you different ideas in relation to different work environments and different career paths. And it would tell you to answer yes, no, or maybe. So, for example, would you like working in a lab? Yes, no, or maybe. I think I put yes because I'm a science girly. But anyway, you get the gist of it. Like, it's asking you these different things that could point you in the direction of a specific career path. So I was dedicated to getting closer to figuring out what my path was going to be. So I took that test, and I took that test multiple times, but each time it would give me a page or two of results of careers that matched with me. And of course, most of them were science related careers, but it would show you the name of the career path, the amount of schooling it required, the average salary in your area. And you could click on this information and learn more about the job itself, the requirements of working that job. Like, for example, being able to do math, being able to lift over 50 pounds, stuff that you would kind of see like in a job description if you were applying to a job. And it really broke down all of the information that I needed so that I could make an informed decision about if I wanted to pursue that career path or not. Now, I was doing this on my own free will, but I honestly feel like everybody should be required to do that because it is extremely helpful in pointing you in the direction of potential career paths that could be a good fit for you. So, while I didn't solely rely on that test to determine my career path, I saw a career path on there in the results that I was already interested in. And so that further solidified it for me that that was a good path for me, but it also provided me with an amazing amount of information that I needed to continue and pursue that path and make sure I went to the right colleges, chose the right majors, and that I was prepared to go into that career field moving forward. There is also another website that I discovered recently. I don't think this was around when I was in high school. I graduated about 7 years ago, in 2016. So this one is called nccareers.org. And like I said, I'm sure other states have their resources, but also I don't think you have to be in North Carolina to be able to utilize those resources. I think you just have to understand that some of the tests that you take are based on North Carolina statistics and not where you live. But nccareers.org kind of did the same thing where you can go in there and take a career interest test and do all other types of tests to see what it's like to get closer to being a working adult and gaining independence and things like that. And I'm going to stop right here and say I also have a free quiz that you can use if you are interested. I wanted to do something similar to the career interest test, and I also wanted to make it much, much easier. I didn't want it to have over 100 questions. Granted, the quizzes that are longer and more in depth are more likely to be more accurate. I will give them that. But for those people that just want a quick little quiz with a quick answer that could point them into a direction that is closer to where they want to go, I wanted to have that available for them. So I made a career personality quiz where you answer, I think it's 10 or 12 questions. It probably takes no more than a minute or two. And you answer yes, no, or maybe. And it's kind of like a BuzzFeed quiz, but figuring out what your career personality type is. So there are 6 different career personalities, and they are all based on what type of work you are interested in doing. So, when you get the results on my quiz, you will learn a little bit more about your career personality, and you will also see a variety of career clusters that correlate with that career personality. For example, I'm pretty sure I am the social career personality, which is nicknamed the helpers. And it's basically the people that want to help other people. And a couple career clusters that you could find that correlate with that are working in healthcare or working in the justice system, like the criminal justice system, law enforcement, stuff like that. Like I said, I think everybody should take a quiz like that, especially because I know how important it is to understand, at least the bare minimum, what types of careers that you are interested in. For those of y'all that may be new here, I have changed my career twice already. I'm on my third career path. So I initially wanted to be an occupational therapist. I enjoyed helping others. I enjoyed working with demographics like children and older people. And that was primarily the reason why I chose that career path. Then I dropped out of school because I had my own health that I was dealing with, trying to get better. I dropped out, took a semester off, ended up going to a medical trade school to be an x ray tech. Again, it's in the healthcare field. Automatically, in the healthcare field, you are going to be helping people. So I thought it was really cool that I could be the eyes of medicine and help diagnose and treat patients, especially in emergency situations. So that was part of what made me choose that career path. Then I ended up quitting that job because I wanted to start my own business and give entrepreneurship a try. So here I am doing college and career coaching, which, if you remember me saying a few minutes ago, I've always been interested in the medical field. So, where does college and career coaching come into play? Well, honestly, I never envisioned myself as an entrepreneur. I never envisioned myself as a coach, let alone a college and career coach. That was never in the cards for me. I didn't think of that business idea or career path until recently, after I experienced not having a lot of work life balance in my x-ray job. I was wanted to pursue something that would give me a little more freedom and also give me the opportunity to make my own money and to make as much or as little money as I wanted to. My point being, even though college and career coaching and entrepreneurship, they're not part of the medical field, but what do they have in common with my previous career paths? It still allows me to help people. I help people now by figuring out which career path aligns with their interests, and I help students choose paths and classes and colleges and majors that will get them closer to their goals. And essentially, I picking a career is a confusing process. And I wanted to bridge the gap where there seems to be a lack of guidance and provide that one on one guidance to students who really need it. So, even though my current career path does not really relate to my past 2 career paths, it still does in a sense because it is still staying true to my interest in helping others. And that's why I think it's important for everybody to know what their career interest is or what their career personality is. Because when you reach a dead end with, like me, for example, when I was at my dead end, I had tried my medical career, I didn't like it, and I didn't know what was next for me. Had I known what my overall career personality was, then I would have been that much closer to understanding what the next career was for me and what the next steps were going to be for me. So it is very helpful for those of us who may unexpectedly come into a dead end and need to try a new career path. It will get you that much closer to figuring out what's next for you. And I always say it's good to have a plan B for your career paths because I, for one, did not have a plan B, and it just made my life so much harder and more confusing when I was at the point that I needed to have a backup plan. So I would definitely recommend having a plan B for your career choice. And knowing your career personality can help you choose what that is going to be. And fortunately, you can find that you have a variety of interests to keep in the back of your mind moving forward with your career decision. Because, yes, I'm primarily interested in science and the medical field as far as careers go, but I like helping people in general. I'm interested in languages. I know Spanish and American Sign Language to a certain extent. I'm much better at Spanish than I am at sign language, but I have that in my back pocket. I love to sing. I can play the piano, so I'm a musician. I have great organization skills. I love to organize. I love to work together as a team with other people. So there are multiple skills and interests that I have that, no, I'm not necessarily utilizing them in my current career path. But if I were to need another career path or even want to start like a little side hustle or something, I know where to begin in that process of figuring out what I'm going to do because I have all these interests and also because I know what my career personality is. There is something, though, that I want to touch on while we're on the topic of knowing your career interests slash personality. I use career interests and career personality interchangeably. Um, but when I'm talking about career personality, I'm specifically talking about the 6 different types of interests you can have when it comes to your career path. So, anyway, sometimes being interested in a career isn't enough to make you successful in that path. Just like my example with working as an x ray tech, I was interested in that career very much so, and I did enjoy taking x rays. But there are other factors that you have to consider when it comes to the longevity of your career. I had no idea I was going to graduate into a pandemic. I had no idea everyone was going to be dealing with staffing shortages. I had no idea we were going to have so many sick people. And I got to a point in my x ray career where I felt overworked and underpaid and underappreciated. And while I really, really loved my patients and serving my patients and taking x rays, I did not love how the healthcare field in general was treating me and my coworkers. And I realized that was not something that I wanted for myself long term, that I deserved to be treated better by a job. And that is what made me want to quit and try something new to where I could pursue more work life balance and truly reap the benefits of the amount of effort I was putting into my work. My best friend is another example. She loves animals. She wanted to become a vet so that she could continue to practice her love for animals and help animals. She got into her first semester of college. She was a biology major on the pre vet track, and she realized that biology was not her thing, and it wasn't necessarily something that was avoidable with the path that she took, especially because she was a biology major. So she decided to change her major and change her career path, and she ended up going into criminal justice and is now working in the criminal justice system, helping others in her community. So while she's not necessarily helping animals, she is passionate about helping people in general. So she is still able to find a career that feels fulfilling to her. And it's not what she initially had interest in, but it is still something that makes her happy and fulfilled. And it's very different from the original path that she was on. Career tests are a good starting point that can give you an idea of what you may want to do going forward. What will actually be more accurate is becoming clear on what you like and what you want, and then doing research and learning more about certain careers and how to pursue them. If you don't want a job that's going to have you on your feet all the time, do not go into nursing. If you don't want a job that's going to make you do math all day, don't go into accounting. But become clear on what you like. Do you like reading and writing? Do you like math? Do you like interacting with the public? Do you like working at a desk? Or would you rather be on your feet or working with your hands or working outdoors, working with tools, etc.? Become clear on what it is that you like, but also become just as clear on what it is that you don't like. I know now that because of my history of chronic illness, my body has been through enough. And I know now that I do not want a job that is going to require me to do manual physical labor for my job. So that is something that I absolutely do not want from a job. That is, so to speak, a deal breaker for me in my career. You can call it a deal breaker, a limitation, a weakness, whatever you want to call it. Just become clear on what you like, what you don't like, your strengths, your weaknesses, your skills, your limitations. Understanding all of those things is going to help you really narrow down what kind of career you want moving forward. That to me feels more personalized and more accurate than a career test that is built for everybody to take. Does that make sense? And that's exactly what we do when you work with me is we together talk about all these things. We evaluate what your interests are, what your likes and dislikes are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what you're looking for in a career, what your deal breakers are, what your limitations are. And we go over all the potential career options that you have after you take all of that into consideration. We narrow it down to a few paths. We make a game plan together on how to pursue those career paths. Maybe you want to pursue one primarily and then have one as a backup plan. We can do that. We make a game plan together, figure out how to get you one step closer to pursuing that path and getting towards that college degree if, that's what is required in your situation. So if you're interested in having me personally walk with you and work with you through all of this, I'm here for you. I have a free 30-minute call that is no commitment required, meaning you can get on that call and just allow me to hear out your situation, and you can get my feedback and we can come up with a mini game plan for you, and it's at no cost to you, and you are not required to move forward with any coaching with me. You are not binded to me in any way. You can just hear my feedback and go on about your day if you want to. Or if you like what I have to say and you feel like you need a little more guidance, we can continue to work together, and I can give you my coaching packages. I can send you the coaching agreement to look over, and we will find the best fit for you. If you're not interested in talking to me personally, but you're listening to this podcast and you like hearing what I have to say on here, continue to tune in. I am posting new podcasts every week on Wednesdays, and I'm also on social media posting bonus content in between my podcasts. So you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Madeline Swan LLC. You can also email me if you have any questions or podcast topics you want to hear, any comments or concerns, Madeline Swan LLC at gmail.com. And I am happy to hear from you. I love interacting with you guys. So continue to reach out. Let me know what you think about this episode. Feel free to reach out and ask any questions or tell me about what you're struggling with. I am here for you. Until next time, stay safe and let's hang out again soon.